get right into it. So there's a way to invest in real estate with no money down, okay? And you can make tens of thousands of dollars. I've been doing this for about 12 or 13 years, this particular method that I'm going to show you. And we refer to this as wholesaling. But let's get away from the concept real quick and let's just talk about the concept of wholesaling itself. The manufacturer sold the couch to you for $1,000. You mark it up to $18.99, knowing that it was worth $21.99. So everybody feels good about that particular deal, okay? The wholesaler made money to you. They didn't make a whole bunch, but they made a little bit. And then you made some profit as well. You didn't gouge the customer as well. You gave them room for equity, if you will. They bought a couch for $300 below retail value. And that right there is wholesaling at its finest. And that is what we've captured in this real estate industry, right? So the real estate market, you have a couple of different jobs, right, when it comes to wholesaling. Number one, what you want to do is you want to find distressed properties. So what are distressed properties? Distressed properties are properties that look like they're either dilapidated, not lived in. You're going to have mailbox that's full of mail running over, right? You're going to have tree limbs all over the yard. The yard's not going to be cut. You may even have trash. You may even have an abandoned car. Now, we'll talk more about that. You need to learn how to capture those distressed properties. But we'll talk a little bit about that later. The second thing that you need to do is you need to be able to contact the owner, okay? So you need to find a service that can reverse look up people, right? Okay, and you get in contact with them. And the third thing is you need to get that property under contract under the current value, the current market value. Okay, so what that means is you already know that the property needs some work on. So you find out what the ARV is. We're gonna put ARV on the screen, and that stands for after repaired value. Okay, so let's say that you find a property that's distressed. You contact the owner. You already know that the property is worth $200,000, right? And so your goal is to look at the repairs that it needs. So let's say you say it needs $50,000 worth of repairs. So right there, the property is currently worth $150,000, and that's at retail. Now your job is to talk the owner or the seller down enough for you to make some money and for the investor, which we're going to call the end buyer, that's going to buy it back from you. They need to be able to make money as well. So let's say that given that same scenario, we know that the retail value is worth $150,000, and that's because the property is worth $200,000, right? That's the ARV. It needs $50,000 worth of work, so that already you're at $150,000. Then the best thing to do is to talk that person down. So let's say we talk that person down to $90,000, okay? So now we have a property that is worth $150,000, could be worth $200,000, and we got it under contract for $90,000. So that brings me to your fourth job. Your fourth job as a wholesaler is going to be to get the property under contract, sell it for an amount of money that the investor could still make a profit at. So in this scenario, you have a property under contract for $90,000. You're going to sell the rights to your contract to an end buyer for $100,000. Now they have a property that they're going to buy for $100,000. They're going to put $50,000 worth of work into it. So they're going to be all in at $150,000, and then they can sell it for what? For $200,000, which is the ARV. That is how you would wholesale a property. So those are the 4 steps. All right. So now we're going to get into a little bit of details as it relates to what I call driving for dollars. Okay. This is a really good method for you to capture properties. All right. So driving for dollars is literally you're going to drive in different neighborhoods. And first of all, you have to pick the right neighborhood and you have to do a little bit of research. So you're going to drive through the neighborhood and you're literally going to write down every address of any dilapidated or distressed looking property. Okay. And that's driving for dollars. Then you're going to go back home and you're going to reverse search the owner's name. There's some software and all that type of stuff that you need to get. That's something that I teach in my course. I don't have time to go over it right now, but you have to have certain software to be able to look up the person's information, and then you need to be able to call them if they're not on the do not call list. Okay, and then from there you start to negotiate with them, and that is how you drive for dollars. Another method of getting distressed properties is going to be if you know an attorney. Let's say you know a divorce attorney. And you already know that when people start to divorce, they have to get rid of the assets in order to make the divorce final. If you know a divorce attorney, get on their good side and start to get the list of these people that they are representing and you can be the first option for them being able to sell a property. And a lot of times you will find that the property it needs work, or they have a lot of equity, and so it's investor ready. If it's investor ready, then you will sell to your network. If not, then you'll just refer that business over to a realtor, a licensed realtor. That realtor could sell the property outright. But in most cases, when you're dealing with people that have divorce decrees that name the fact that they have to sell their properties, then they're going to be in a distressed situation. So not all houses, when I say distressed properties, I'm not just talking about how a property look. I'm actually talking about the situation that the property is in. And so sometimes you can have a perfectly good house, okay? No maintenance needed, no repairs needed, but the situation could be a distressed situation. In this case, it is because they have to sell by a certain date. And so that's where you come in. Now, the other thing that you think about is actually having a cash buyer list. Okay, you want to have a cash buyers list, and that list is going to be a list of people, investors that are looking to flip properties, or they're looking to grab and hold properties for their rental portfolio. Okay, and you want to be able to structure a system where you'll be able to talk to these buyers. So maybe you go out and you take pictures. I have a template. So I'm going to take about 12 to 15 photos of a property. I'm going to list the cover. On the cover of my report, I'm going to have a picture of the house, okay? I'm going to tell you how many bedrooms it's going to be. I'm going to give you all of the attributes of the house. But then I'm also going to take pictures and videos of the properties that are called comps, okay, comparables. Those are properties that are in neighborhoods that have already been fixed up and repaired. And so when you get that list of comparables in my report, and then you also look at the current state of the property, that pretty much tells you the entire acquisition summary. So it tells you what the property looked like in its current state, and it tells you what it could look like if you fix it up. And then obviously I have the numbers in there. And so if we use the same scenario we used at first, sales price, ARV is 200, sales price is 100,000, and repairs are 50. And so right then and there on that report, you know that you are getting a $200,000 house for $100,000 that's going to need about $50,000 worth of work. And so everything is in the acquisition summary. And so you want to be able to get the software to be able to do that as well. Okay. And then at the end of the day, all you're doing is connecting the seller and the buyer, and you're getting a premium for having put them together. Okay, you literally are putting the property under contract and you're selling your rights. It will be no different than any other business acquisition where somebody is selling a franchise and they're selling all the equipment with the franchise and all of the customers that were coming to that franchise before you became the owner. They all come with that sale, and that's the same thing you're doing when it comes to real estate wholesaling. Okay, all you're doing is assigning a contract. Now you do need an assignment agreement. You do need contracts. You do need a contractor. You need people that are going to help you along the way, and that's a whole nother science, building your team. But I definitely wanted to just give you a quick synopsis of wholesaling real estate, because this is the only quick way that you can get money in real estate without actually having to put any money down and owning the property. So hopefully you guys will help. I do have a course. If you guys want more information, you can go to the passiveincomemanuscript.com, and there I have a wholesale course that we sell. We got a starter pack. We also have different packages as well, to where I guarantee your success. So for instance, people can pay for a different education, different packages, and I hold your hand until you make a target set amount of money. But that's a whole nother deal. What we'll do is we'll put the link in the description, and you can click that. Other than that, we'll see you in the next video.